You know the thingy from the fall, you know the little radio. I was doing that.
You're a radio. What? How you all doing? I did my dadly duties. I made breakfast. Did anyone die?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Are you dead?
No.
Am I dead?
No.
Is your brother dead?
No.
Yeah, took Doggo out, and then you and your brother ignored me, didn't you, for ages? Because you were playing Gary's Mod. Gary's Mod kids, god damn it, playing Gary's Mod. What about me? And they abandoned me. And then when your brother abandoned you, you're like, Dad, drop us Team Fortress. I was like, yeah! And I made a massive mistake, didn't I?
No.
Because I played on the Linux. Mate, I was terrible. There's no two ways about it. So we were playing with bots, weren't we, yeah?
Yes.
And you were playing on your laptop.
Yeah.
And instead of me being on Belial, my PC, I thought, I'm going to be on a Steam machine. And I'm going to be a first-person shooter god, which I ain't, using a Steam pad. That's still connected to my computer, you thieving toe rag.
Whoa!
Oi! Kick him in the nuggies.
I like the feeling when you like. Do
Oh,
this.
the haptic rumbly bit.
Yeah, that feels really cool.
So go on then. What do you think?
Or this, or TF2.
Well, both. I'm telling you, man.
This is weird and also cool at the same time. TF2 is a good game.
I was gonna say I played like ass with that pad. Like I really played bad. I can't aim to save my life with that pad. But like it got me thinking, right? Because when like playing with that pad, a lot of people just have a go on it and go, oh, it's terrible. I'm no good at it. It's like, oh, I can't play with this, and they say it's crap. Like they straight away just say it's crap.
Yeah.
But like I said, that makes me think of back when I was younger and like we transitioned from like, I don't know, shooters that would just use like face buttons on the N64 and a stick. Like, so you've seen the N64 pad where it's got the yellow buttons, yeah?
Wait, I'm gonna get a picture of that. N64.
Right, so, right, I'll, hang on.
Was it
N64 control pad.
N64 control pad.
When we played shooters on the N64, you had like a couple of ways of playing them. So like, you'd have, the stick would either be like your movement, yeah? Walking around. Right, and that'd be on your thumb, and that's how it is on like control pads now, isn't it?
Yes.
Right, but you'd also have other games where looking around was on your thumb, and movement was on the yellow buttons.
Yellow buttons. Why the yellow buttons?
Well, because I guess they were underneath your other thumb. You could put them underneath your other thumb, and then you could have like press the up C button to the top. There was like 4 of them in like a diamond shape. You'd press the up one.
Controllers now.
Yeah, but you press the button, you press up, and that would count as forward. So they were using it like a D-pad, but on the other side.
But why wouldn't they use the other D-pad?
'Cause-
The actual D-pad exists.
Yeah, you have no, because they use that for weapon select. So if you wanted to change weapons, so like I think it was like it might have been Torok and maybe Duke Nukem. I think you'd press, mate. It was old, all right. That was a different time back then, all right.
Duke Nukem.
You'd press.
Duke, go
well,
Nukem.
where's your Xbox? Well, you ain't got your Xbox pad somewhere, but like
It's
because
upstairs.
the
So
D
go get it.
No, that's all right, because the D-pad's on that side as well, though, isn't it?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's what they use as another set of 4 buttons. So hang on, well, just for the people who weren't born when games were good and haven't had the misfortune of growing up with a bald old man like me who goes, play this game, and they're all like, I don't want to.
I like playing games you recommend to me.
That control pad looks like a I don't know, what does that look like? Boomerang?
That.
Yeah.
There is a controller that looks more like a boomerang than that.
No, that might have been one of the PlayStation ones. But look, that shows you that. That shows you. That was the layout. So you'd use because you had the grip there, and then the middle grip.
Yes.
Right, and you'd grab it by the middle, thumb on the stick, and then you'd move with these buttons up here.
Yes.
And yeah.
Wait, let me look out the boomerang controller. The boomerang boomerang.
Why are you looking up a boomerang?
Why did you say that?
Because you're a boomerang, aren't you? Yeah, that was they joked that was a PlayStation pad, I think. We used to call it the croissant. Yeah, look, it's got a PlayStation logo on it.
Nah.
Look. Oh, it's gone.
God damn it. There you go.
There you go. It's the boomerang.
The boomerang. The boomerang.
So you don't exist. You're not real. But yeah, so hang on.
What's this?
1% boomerang. People want the boomerang.
Why?
Because it's
so
a
they
joke.
made the boomerang.
Could you imagine you could have beaten someone to death with that? Yeah, so here's my trick, right? People say that OWL control pad, the Steam control pad, is like shite. Because they try it and they just ain't very good at it. Like it's quite tricky you have to really play with it to get used to it.
Yeah.
But that just reminds me of how my lot were when we first played Twin Stick.
Wait, you mean people are bad at
Well,
games?
okay, well no, but like so we all grew up with stuff like the N64. Like the N64 was pretty hardcore, but you had like physical buttons to like move and strafe, and then like I don't know, maybe you had the DualShock PlayStation control, right?
Yeah.
And that had twin sticks, but like that didn't often give you camera control on the right stick. So when Halo came out on the Xbox, fucking when people were like, wait, I have to move with my left thumb, so walk forwards, backwards, left and right with my left thumb.
Yes.
And then turn with my right thumb.
Yes.
People were like, what the fuck is this? And everyone would like kind of walk around and start like wibbling around like crazy because they had no idea what to do. And it took a little while for people to get used to it. Like, I'll flat admit it, man, I was shit twin stick in it. I could play mouse and keyboard, no problem, but for some reason the idea of controlling the camera with my thumb just made me go fucking a bit brain dead.
Did you know my brother played a bit of Halo 3, I think, if not I was 2.
Alright.
Because we have it on, we have the disc for it at our grandma's.
Alright.
And we've got Xbox 360s.
You can get Halo for your laptop now.
Yeah, the
Master Chief Collection.
And Infinite.
Oh yeah, it's the new one, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the new one. I haven't played that one yet. But yeah, so when Halo first came out, people like, it took a little bit of, not a huge amount, like you'd adapt to it pretty quickly, but that's something that people just didn't or haven't done with the Steam pad. They just kind of looked at it, tried it, and because they couldn't play like they did with the Xbox pads and the PlayStation pads, they just gave up on them, like straight away. And so, but you had to learn to use twin stick, well, my lot had to learn to use twin stick back in the day. But no, but it's like people who moved from Atari with the old joystick and the one button.
Yes.
When they had to move to like NES with the D-pad and 2 buttons, or heaven fucking forbid, the Mega Drive with 6 buttons, or the Super Nintendo with the Atari 2600, because that was just a joystick with one button. So when people no.
This is the Oh, it's right there. It says.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look, see? It's a stick with one button. So...
That looks really hard to use.
But, nah, man, because all you have is up, down, left, right, and then, like, a button for shoot, or a button for okay. So, like, you didn't really... Like, there weren't really...
But how... If there's a button for okay, how do you say no?
Well, because the games... Look how simple them fucking games were, dude. Like, look at that. That was a game back in the day. That looks like someone had a box of crayons and just like,
Pac-Man.
hey! You know, it's not like games now where you have to have a different button for all different stuff.
They have Pac-Man.
Because, when people went from that single stick control to like Super Nintendo and stuff, fucking their minds exploded. Because they were like, what the hell do I do with all these buttons? I remember people going, mate, there's too many buttons. Mate, and then when you go to PC and you realise you have to press WASD, fucking Q, E, R, F, V, like all of the keys around there, like, what the fuck is up with all these buttons? And then every game you played would have a different button layout?
I'm gonna look for a specific video with a specific part in it, but I
Oh,
don't know. I need to find.
He's fucking looking for memes. I knew it. This is just a bad idea.
No, it's not.
Oh
Memes.
no, it's by fucking Danny. No!
It's not memes. Don't worry.
He is a fucking meme. Danny, you're a meme.
The chances that he watches this.
Nah, he'll never watch this. Cause,
Yeah,
you know, fucking. Why would anyone watch some bald old man and his fucking. Kid?
Yes.
You and your fucking brother watch Danny all the fucking time.
All I need to find is the bit where it's like, oh no, there's too many buttons. Where is it? Where's the too many buttons?
Just think one day there'll be controllers where there's like a billion buttons and you'll be like, what the fuck is this? And I'll go, ha ha, you old man, now you know how I felt. Fuck face! That geezer.
I know this one at least. Among Us. The game
look,
to
it's
play
cute.
Among Us. We're playing Among Us. Among Us. Among Us. Among Us. Among Us.
And this is why I'll never be popular on YouTube, because I don't make videos for fucking kids.
I know. I did something.
You melon. Stop pressing the buttons! No!
I can do. Look, it's magic. Button.
Did you not
button,
know that?
Button.
Mate,
button,
mate,
button.
did you? Yeah, no, don't. You guys, too many buttons. Did you not know those buttons did that?
No, I just knew that there was a ton of buttons on here. Is this undo and redo?
Backwards and forwards.
Alright.
Yeah. And then you see a secret pornography stash.
So what did these two do?
Huh?
What did these two do?
Oh shit. Probably the same thing. I don't know.
No.
Mate, I don't use buttons. I barely know how to click things. Like, dude, we're playing Team Fortress and my only job was to center screen and click.
Yes.
Click on people's heads, and guess what? I fucked up. I did really bad. But what that means is, practice, bitches. Practice. What do you do if you ain't practicing?
You watch Luke Roberts-Faulkes.
No, dickhead, you practice more. But good job. Stop selling out.
Yeah.
Bless his little mind, though. Have we never shown him an N64 pad? The boys have played pretty much every other pad I can think of, or they've at least played a lot of the mega classic consoles. So like NES, Super Nintendo, Mega Drive. I thought they might have played Atari, but apparently they're not. You know, they've seen my PC Engine, and they've played all of the classic stuff. My kids were very retro kind of minded. In fact, actually, my oldest boy came downstairs and he goes, "Yeah, Dad, do you know this character?" And he reeled off this character name. I was like, "Man, look, not off the top of my head, man. What do you want about?" He's like, well, he's from Super Punch Out." He goes, "Do people talk about Super Punch Out these days?" And I was like, "Nah, mate, no." I go, "Super Punch Out, like, do you mean the Super Nintendo Punch Out, like Super Punch Out, right?" So yeah, that one. So for some reason I got him in my head, like, "Do you mean Arcade Punch Out?" But cause he's been watching arcade videos, and he's like, "No, the Super Nintendo one." I was like, "Oh right, no man, like people don't talk about that kind of stuff. Like realistically, like on the regular, people don't talk about that kind of stuff anymore because it's old. There's like entire generations of children that just have no idea what Super Punch Out is. So, like, but the controls are just the way that the controllers evolved is just to people's minds and all that, and just like, okay, here's one for you, right? So people pick up this pad, they look at it and they go, "Oh my god, what do I do? Where's my second stick?" Once upon a time, there weren't a second stick. The touch pads. Right, so there's your D-pad and there's one on the other side. Right, that's your analog stick. That's your touch pad, track ball, and your analog stick all in the one. So for all the people who are QQing about the Steam Deck, I just think it's one of those grooves because the Steam Deck has got 2 sticks, the D-pad, the face buttons, and then 2 touchpads. I just don't think they get it. Or perhaps they weren't quite around when this was a thing. I mean, and it wasn't that long ago, but it wasn't exactly a mainstream product. And the point of those pads, for anyone that doesn't get it, Valve's idea was to make a pad that was reconfigurable for the game. so that even games that had no idea what a control pad was could be played on a pad on your telly. So like today, I was playing a bit of Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a mouse and keyboard RPG first-person shooter thing. Well, it's not a first-person shooter, it's a first-person RPG with shooter elements and hacking elements and all that. But like, that's mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard only. I don't think it ever had a console port. Yet I can bind all of the buttons to this. I think the downfall to this realistically was that it didn't have that second stick. People didn't get it. And that they ended up opening up the Steam controller customization APIs to PlayStation pads and Xbox pads and that kind of stuff. So you could use Steam's big picture and go into the controller mapper and say, right, well, I want to turn my right stick into a mouse, and I want to change my face buttons to be like, X, I want that to be like F1 and stuff. Like you can do that. And the thing with this was that there were tons and tons of bindings made by the community, bindings being control pad layouts, like button layouts. So you didn't even have to customize your own. You just go, right, I'm now launching up, I'm going to say it, World of Warcraft. For some reason you've imported World of Warcraft into your Steam library, and you could launch the game, go into the control mapper, and chances are someone had already made a control binding to make World of Warcraft playable on this pad. From Software, because obviously they'd done stuff with the Steam Deck, had already made a Steam controller profile that automatically loaded when you launched the game. As I say, Deus Ex, you could probably play like your RTSs and your point and clicks and all that, all on this. The game didn't have to be reconfigured. You'd reconfigure your control pad. And that's just... In fairness, though, I think most people use... I think once upon a time, the big control pad to use was this. But when the Steam API opened up, a lot of people started using the old PlayStation DualShock 4s and DualShock 5s. The Linux guys definitely, but I think that's just because the control pad was tacked into the kernel, like really early on. But... This was a control pad you really needed to practice with, like the early days of Twin Stick. It makes me think of, I saw something years and years and years ago. A chap named Daigo Umehara is a fighting game player. He grew up in Japanese arcades. So he's only really used arcade sticks. So the big old hulking stick and an array of buttons. He is primarily a fighting game player, and he'll occasionally play like a Super Nintendo RPG or something like that. I haven't seen him play much by way of modern games, but I'm sure he plays them. But when it comes to fighting games, his forte, he uses a fight stick. And someone handed him a control pad, just a joypad. The PlayStation DualShock 4, I think. And the look of what on his face, like, what am I supposed to do with this thing, it was hilarious, because he knew what buttons to press. He knew what buttons to press, when to press them. He knew the timings. He knew all the combos and stuff. He had the skills, but he didn't know how that translated to the control pad. He didn't understand how the fight stick layout translated to the control pad. So his brain was missing that interpretation layer and the muscle memory, realistically, to use a pad. I reckon given a good few hours, he'd have probably just picked that up in no time flat. But it was just funny to watch him flounder on it a bit. And again, this is the thing with this. With a bit of practice, I'm sure a lot of people would have got it. Now, I haven't had a huge amount of practice with this, but I really like this pad. In fact, I like it so much, I actually got there's a backplate on here, look, with a second dongle in it. So one of them's always connected up to my Steam machine, and one of them, there's a dongle behind this backplate so I can plug it into my computer. The aim was to actually use this a lot more, but I didn't. I never really hardcore got around to it. I've played many a game, and I sucked hard at it. I streamed many a game and sucked hard at them. But I reckon with more practice, I could have actually got pretty solid. And it's great because I've played loads of point and clicks on it too, and RTSs and all that kind of stuff. Just because there's layouts here. As I say, I've played World of Warcraft on this thing. The customization on it was fantastic, but people didn't get it. So when people look at the Steam pad, they go, "You need to get rid of them touchpads." No, you don't. No, you don't. You just need the practice. And so I'm actually gonna put a lot more of the practice into this pad, and see where that goes. That said, there is a YouTube channel out there called Existential Egg, although I think it's called Rambletown, and he made primarily Steam controller videos back in the day. I've got one on screen right now. 2018, he was making videos about all the gyro controls and different control layouts and how you could customize the layouts to fit your kind of feel and all that kind of thing. Really, really interesting, the channel. I'm going to link it. Go and have a fucking fantastic channel. I loved it, but I don't think he does a lot now, sadly. And I don't think he's all that sold on the Steam Deck. I hope he weren't burnt on the Steam controller, to be honest with you. I loved his videos though. Absolutely loved them. Fantastic videos. Yeah. I like the pad. I like what they're doing. I just wish more people would give it a shot and stop whining that it isn't, something like this. Because this wasn't always the norm. Microsoft changed their pads. Like on one console, they changed it twice. They had the Duke, which was too big, and then they made the S controller, which then eventually became this. But practice. I'm gonna do a bit of a no-no. But I'm about to go to bed. I'm gonna have a bedtime snack of mint Viennetta and coffee. not the greatest idea. But that's no-no number one. That's not the no-no I actually want to talk about. I've done something wrong with my Steam machine. It's not something wrong, something I said I wasn't going to do. I've installed a video editor on the Steam machine. That is Kden Live. Why have I installed a video editor on my Steam machine? I've used this video editor for years. In fact, it was my primary video editor, that was this and DaVinci Resolve, for years and years and years and years, when I was doing a lot of stuff on Linux years and years and years ago. I say years ago, it was all up until 2020. Like, for a long time, I did everything on Linux. Almost like proving a point that you could and no one would know. But the reason I've done this today is I'm recording on my iPhone. And I'm using a program called Filmic Pro, which means I have a bit more control over white balance, exposure, and all that kind of stuff. I find the iPhone 13 seems to overexpose absolutely everything, so it's way too bright. And it makes me then look racistly white. Like, white, I look whiter than Casper the damn Ghost. So, started using this, plus it doesn't save stuff to my camera roll. I hate that. Like, don't save to my camera roll. It's really annoying. But it's got a really cool stabilization feature on it. And the stabilization, like right now, there's a bit of a delay as I wiggle the screen about. The weird thing is, though, the codecs on Windows, right? So there's my fat, ugly head there, right? Check this out. There's a delay between the audio and the video. It's just the way the Windows codec sees it. Ready? What? How you all doing? I did my dadly duties. I made breakfast. Did anyone die?
No. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Are you dead? So, that's really annoying, but if I load it into Linux, or VLC for that matter, right? What? How you all doing? I did my dadly duties. I made breakfast. Did anyone die?
No.
It's proper. It's because my Windows video editor uses the same codecs as just the generic Microsoft media player. So it's out, and I could just slip the audio, but I can't be bothered. So just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fire up Kden Live on Linux and see if that just takes the footage and has it all in the correct place. And guess what? It does. It just does. So the lesson at this point is to really not use Filmic Pro with the stabilizer on full ball. If you're dumping into Windows and Vegas Pro or something else that uses the same codecs. VLC, that's all its own thing, isn't it? But so I'm gonna bang the video out with Caden Live like I used to back in the day, and we can say, look, there's absolutely no difference. You wouldn't, if it's just straight cuts you're doing, no one would notice the difference. No one would notice the difference. But it's just so annoying. I'm going to do the iPhone again tomorrow, but I'm going to turn off the advanced stabilizer feature just to see if that is actually what's causing the Windows to screw the up. Because if you play the footage back on the phone, it's fine. If you play the footage back in VLC, it's fine. But everything else, it just has a hissy fit. So I'm looking at it now. I can actually see myself with lag talking to the camera. So, because just everything's out of sync. But the file should be fine. Just it's not being read without the delay in the thing. So there's been something skipped out, but doesn't matter. I'm gonna bang it out in here. Check out Existential Egg, Rambletown. Check out the Steam Pad if you can get hold of one. They're pretty rad. I really hope Valve bangs out a Gen 2 of this. I really do. Because it'd be so cool. Like one of these with twin sticks. Give me the layout of the Steam Pad or the Steam Deck in one of these, please, Valve, on the paddles on the back. Love those. And then you can assign them, just stop gushing over the control pads. But yeah, it's just interesting just to see how people's attitudes towards control pads have changed over the years. And realistically, we all just go for what's comfortable, what we like. We don't really give other things a chance. Change makes us, it scares us. It's dumb. So, stop ranting because you've now made a 35-year video on a topic that should have only taken a little bit. I'll see you all for tomorrow. I fucking want a Steam Deck, but chances are I'm gonna be able to get one. But I want one. I really want one. You don't have to recode your games. They're already done. Give it a fucking chance. Just understand how it works. Change the way you expect it to work. They don't have to port it. The controls are all there. It's universal control. Fuck, shut up, scares. Go. See you all later.